Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article. It's from the Washington Times that was published on February 7th. It's written by Mark Sherman. Hey, and where do I start with this? Oh, probably with the title. John Roberts joins liberal justices as Supreme Court blocks Louisiana abortion law. I love how they have to throw in this idea of liberal justices. They are not liberal. They have gone to the left past the point of liberal. See, this isn't about trying to prevent, women from having access to abortions. This isn't about anything like that. But see, they're trying to make it sound like that's the case anytime a type of law like this comes up. And the point behind this law that they're taking issue with, that the Supreme Court looked at, is requiring that an abortion clinic have admittance at the hospital, like admittance privileges. And that's about safety, because if they fuck up, because no matter how you look at it, it's going to happen. They need to have that ability to admit someone so that way, they get into the hospital quicker, get treated quicker, and have a better chance of fucking survival and a better chance of not, losing their reproductive capability. Or we'll talk about women here, so we'll just say it. Women not having those things happen. And to see how this is being portrayed is so messed up. A divided Supreme Court stopped Louisiana from enforcing new regulations on abortion clinics in a test of the conservative court's view on abortion rights. The justices said which I love that one, on abortion rights. This isn't about abortion rights. This is literally about saying, hey, if you're going to perform a medical procedure that is, it's not like, say, getting a few stitches or something like that. I mean, this isn't a pretty entailed medical procedure with risk to it. And you're going to do it off the grounds of a hospital. You need to be able, if you fuck up, to get someone into the hospital ASAP. So you need to have admittance privileges. That's the whole point of it. It's not about abortion rights. This is about abortion safety. The justices said by a 5-4 vote late, I want to know if Ginsburg actually cast her vote. No one's seen her. She is nowhere to be found. So, I mean, what are they going to do? Are they drying her skin out and tanning it so that way they can stretch it across a Disney animatronic and try to fool everyone? Because we don't even know if she's still alive at this point. But anyway, the justices said by a 5-4 vote late Thursday that they will not allow the state to put into effect a law that requires abortion providers to have admitting privileges at nearby hospitals. It does not deny them the right to, the right of abortion, performing them, women getting them. All it is saying with that, with having admitting privileges, is you guys fuck up. You need to be able to get the person you just hurt, the person you just caused harm to. You need the ability to streamline and get them right into the hospital. That's what that whole idea of admitting privileges is about. Chief Justice John Roberts joined the court's four liberals in putting a hold on a law pending a full review of the case. Oh my God. It's common fucking sense. There's no need for a full review. President Donald Trump's two Supreme Court appointees, Justices Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh, were among the 4 conservative members of the court who would have allowed the law to take effect. Well, that's because the law is not unconstitutional. There are such things as states' rights. States have the right to regulate within their borders, including things like abortion. And if they want to say, hey, you need to have admitting privileges at your local hospital, That's perfectly fine. I mean, what gets me is the left's got no problems with if a woman's about to crown, And she goes, I don't want the kid, kill it. In New York, that's perfectly fine. That's okay. You know, hey, that's okay. But saying, hey, wait a minute, you hurt the woman. You better be able to get her ass into a hospital ASAP so that, you know, we can minimize, you know, the harm to her. That's a problem because it's no longer about safe. I mean, now they want to do it with coat hangers out in the open. You know, they'll do, oh, well, if you don't make it legal and safe, then women are going to go and get it with coat hangers. Now, they don't care if it's safe. They want to flaunt it in your face too. Hell, they would probably take a coat hanger and give themselves one right in front of everyone. It's fucking ridiculous. This is really ridiculous shit. That they try to portray this as they are. Kavanaugh wrote a dissenting opinion in which he said the court's action was premature because the state had made it clear it would allow abortion providers an additional 45 days to obtain admitting privileges before it started enforcing the law. Well, not only that, but the thing is, they knew the law was going to go into effect. They had that time before it too. If doctors succeed, they can continue performing abortions, he said. If they fail, they could return to court, Kavanaugh said. The law is very similar to a Texas measure the justices struck down 3 years ago. Roberts dissented in the case. Now, they did the same thing with the Texas law, trying to say, oh, well, it's attacking abortion rights. No, it's saying, hey, if you're going to perform a medical procedure and you're a doctor, you should be able to, like, get admitting privileges at the local hospital in case you fuck up. I don't understand why there should be an issue with that. I mean, to me, if you're going to put your physical safety and your reproductive ability at risk, maybe you might want to go to a place where if they do fuck things up with you, you're able to get into the hospital pretty damn quick. Just a thought. But the composition of the court has changed since then, with Kavanaugh replacing Justice Anthony Kennedy, who voted to strike down the Texas law. Okay, it really hasn't changed that much, but all right, maybe on like this one particular thing, there might be a shift, but in general, it really hasn't moved that much. Trump had pledged during the campaign to appoint pro-life justices, and abortion opponents are hoping that more conservative bench will be more open to upholding abortion restrictions. Or maybe not make it so that, you know, murder isn't legal as a quote-unquote abortion. Because, you know, kids crowning in New York, a woman goes, I don't want it. And they go, okay, they pop the kid out, then kill it. That's fucking murder. I mean, maybe they don't want that going on. I mean, to me, I don't want to see something like that in our society. To me, that's just, if a society approves of something like that, you're turning into a vile, evil, disgusting crowd. You really are. If you will accept something like that, you are a vile, evil person. No ifs, ands, or buts. Louisiana abortion providers and a district judge who initially heard the case said one or maybe two of the state's 3 abortion clinics would have to close under the new law. There would be at most 2 doctors who could meet its requirements, they said. So setting standards for abortion so that it's safe, because that's what we're talking about here. Setting standards so that it's safe is a bad thing. How so? I mean, not our problem that these doctors who are doing abortions don't have the qualifications to meet the standards now set forth where they could have admitting privileges. To me, I'm sorry. That's, so what? They would still be able to have abortion clinics. So you find, even if they had to close, if they didn't close, they could just, go out looking for a doctor that can get admitting privileges. I mean, that is possible. It really, you would think wouldn't be, something that would be, I'm trying to think, like any regulation. Okay, I'm thinking the best way to try to put this. So like with any regulation, okay, they set standards that all the time that cause stuff like this to happen in other industries. And I can't believe well, the way that they chop up baby parts and sell them, it is a fucking industry. It's not an appropriate analogy on that note, but it is true. But okay, in any industry, the government comes along at any time and sets regulations, changes regulations, whatever, that causes disruptive shit like this to happen. And you don't see the Supreme Court getting involved. The ability is still there. It would still be legal. There would still be an abortion clinic. I don't see the problem. There would be two. They could, they're saying two. Possibly. Out of three. Regardless, the ones that have an issue, find doctors that can meet the requirements. If abortion is approved by so many fucking people, it shouldn't be that hard to find two doctors that would be willing to fucking, take a job there so that you can have admitting privileges. Just saying. But the Federal Appeals Court in New Orleans rejected those claims, doubting that any clinics would have to close and saying the doctors have not tried hard enough to establish relationships with local hospitals. I think the Federal Appeals Court in New Orleans, in Louisiana, probably have their finger on the pulse more. And that's true too. They see that's another thing. They need to build a relationship with the hospital to have that. They just don't want to do it. In January, the full appeals court voted 9-6 not to get involved in the case, setting up the Supreme Court appeal. So wait a minute. They say, hey, we don't see an issue with this. They just have to go out, make the relationships, go talk to people. And that, we don't want that. We don't want that. The fucking spurging out left who like to murder babies. We don't want that. The entitled left. Supreme Court. They're unbelievable. The law has been scheduled to take effect Monday, but Justice Samuel Alito delayed the effective date at least through Thursday to give the justices more time. He and Justice Clarence Thomas were the other dissenters Thursday. The justices could decide this spring whether to add the case to their calendar for the term that begins in October. The case is June Medical Services v. Gee. This is ridiculous. This really is. I mean, they weren't outlawing it. They were basically regulating it. Like any medical, not procedure, we'll say like any medical procedure done within the state, they have the right to regulate where and how they're done, because, you know, not in every state can you have out of hospital surgery where, you know, you go to your doctor's office and they can do it. You know, that depends on the state. So this was about regulating, about making sure that these doctors have the ability, when they fuck up, to send someone straight to the hospital, get them admitted because they have admitting privileges, and they can go, yeah, we need to get this person admitted. I fucked up. We need to treat her. I don't see a problem with that. Anyone with a semblance of sanity shouldn't see a problem with that. If it was about safe, you know, abortions, you would think that women who are pro-abortion, hell, men, but whatever, just people who are pro-abortion would be okay with this, because it ensures that they're going to be safe. Or if something happens, there's a minimization of the risk of permanent harm, you know, permanent reproductive damage. To me, that just seems like it would be common sense. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.